Alright, I know I look like crap. I look tired. My baby was actually born like 5 days ago. So, I am tired. Yeah, having a newborn is very tough, but Cora Lynn is her name, and she's incredible. She's perfect, but I'm very tired. Halloween ends. The end of a saga, the end of a trilogy, and some would say the end of the franchise? No, you can't kill the boogeyman. Or can you? Halloween ends. I did not anticipate this, but I will actually be doing a part 2 to this review that is going to come out on Monday. It is going to be a spoiler-filled review. So this review you're watching today is not a spoiler. It's spoiler-free. So you don't have to worry about me spoiling anything in the film. Sorry, I need to adjust. This is going to just be my thoughts on the movie, and let's just dive right into it. It's a mixed bag for me because it feels a lot like when I watched Star Wars The Last Jedi. There are things I really like about this film, and there are things that I don't like about this film. It's stylistic, and it's something that I like, but it's also something that I dislike. They make creative decisions to change the formula of a typical Halloween film. And I like that idea. I like that approach. I like that they're trying to breed something fresh into this franchise. But why did you wait at the end when all is said and done? Why couldn't you have sprinkled this in Halloween 2018 and in Halloween Kills? Because if you did that, this wouldn't be so jarring. This wouldn't be very jarring for people to talk about in every single review, because I know that there are going to be other people who talk about how weird the tonal shift is from Halloween Kills to Halloween Ends. The time jump of 4 years makes sense, but when you look at the layers of this movie, you look at what they offer you within those 4 years, the way things change about Michael, the way things change about the rules, it doesn't make sense. And that is the problem with this movie. The lore is changed, and it does not make any competent sense. Okay, this is going to be something that I talk about in ad nauseum at the spoiler review. They do things in this movie that make me truly question Danny McBride and David Gordon Green's intentions at the beginning when they pitched this idea to Universal and Blumhouse. They knew that they didn't have enough material after Halloween 2018. I feel like they did Halloween 2018, they just wanted to do one Halloween movie, they got it out of their system, and then all of a sudden, they decided, you know what? Let's milk this for all it's worth. Let's make a new trilogy of films, and let's just try to take certain subtle approaches, paint a very thin brush, and then give nothing of substance. Nothing that really deserves to be a fully fleshed out trilogy. I think if this was Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, and those movies in a way were the final 2 films, I feel like that would have been a better conclusion than what we get with Halloween Ends. Because Halloween Ends, ultimately, it's very derivative. It's very much in the vein of what we've seen this franchise do time and time again when they've retconned all of that canon. There is things in this film that make me wonder, is this better than what we got in the Thorn trilogy? Is this more deserving than what we got with Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? I mean, there are things in this film that'll truly make you scratch your head. The one huge thing about this film and if this doesn't work, then the whole movie doesn't work for you, and that is the character of Corey. Corey is the protagonist of this film. It's not Laurie Strode. I would also go as far as to say Michael Myers is not the main antagonist of this movie either. Corey is really at the center of this movie. And if he does not work for you, then this movie is not going to work in principle. There are things I like that they explore with this character. There are decisions that this character makes. There are decisions that the story makes for the character that I was shocked by. I couldn't believe the direction they were going. I never anticipated that this would kind of be how Halloween Ends would approach this plot. And it was intriguing. But the problem is once the third act starts, all of it falls apart. Everything with Corey falls apart, and it feels so nonsensical. It feels like there's no valid reason for all of this. And that's the unfortunate thing. It feels like the writing in this film, although the dialogue is actually very rich. I mean, the jokes are better in this film than in Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. The dialogue is better than what we got in Halloween Kills, but the problem is they wrote themselves into a corner. I felt like they had this idea. They said, hey, let's try something unique with this. And then as they continued to develop that, they were never truly able to give a solution. It almost feels like there has to be a continuation after Halloween Ends to actually conclude Corey's story, which is a problem, because when you're going along this entire journey, this entire path, because this movie really is about Corey, and I would even go as far as to say as Allison as well. When you have, Corey at the front of this movie, you're going through this very interesting, distinct plot device that they give this character. You almost expect for them to answer the riddle of the why. Why this character? Why now? Why is this happening? But instead, the original answers that we wanted from what we saw from Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills and Ends, those are the things that get answered in the last 20 minutes of this film. Those are the things that get wrapped up. And the big battles, that has been promoted with Laurie and Michael, it's not epic. I would say the Halloween 2018 battle between Laurie and Michael is better. Hell, Halloween H2O is a better Laurie versus Michael showdown. Everything you see in the trailer of the showdown between Michael and Laurie is pretty much all you get in the film. There's a couple little other things, but it really is not the biggest plot point of this film. It's very much on the side. It's kind of a throwaway thing that happens. Oh yeah, let's just get Laurie and Michael at the end of this to duke it out. That's really what it feels like. And I don't want to get into, what happens with the fighting. I don't want to get into why that is the case and what the stuff with Corey all involves, because I'm saving that for my spoiler review, which will be out on Monday. But I don't like the ending of this movie. I don't like the ending, and when I watched it, I really had a hard time comprehending why this is the end. They have been teasing something since Halloween 2018. Specifically, Laurie has been teasing something since Halloween 2018. And they don't do that in this movie. Like, it doesn't justify the means. It doesn't justify the ending. It's very hard to get into specifics because I want to talk about why these things don't work and why the ending was not good in my opinion, and why I have a hard time with this film, why there are things I do like about it and things I don't like about it. And it's very conflicting the way I feel, but I have to save it for Monday. So I can't dive deeper into my negatives with this film. All I'll say is that if you go into this movie expecting your run-of-the-mill Michael Myers wreaking havoc, killing people, Laurie Strode being kind of that antithesis to Michael and trying to put a stop to this evil, that's not what you're getting in this film. Okay? You get that in the last 20 minutes, but that is not what this film is about. It is very different. It is not the ending that I had I had foreseen them do. It was not the ending I feel like a lot of us had no idea they were going to do, but they did it. And we just got to judge it on the merits of what we have in front of us. Now the positive. Again, I like the stylistic approach. It feels in the vein of Halloween 3. I won't get into specifics. All I'll say is that the font and the music in this film are very bold. They made very interesting decisions on that front. They decided to change it up, and I applaud them for that. That is very, very good on them to really be bold in that strategy. I don't know why they would do it after such a divisive film like Halloween Kills now, but hey, it's a cool choice, and I do appreciate them trying to do something different and something flashier with the Halloween franchise. I like a lot about how they show the way that Michael is affecting the people in this town. That even though, and in the trailer they show this, Michael's been gone for 4 years, there's still that essence of evil that affects the town. I like that. It's not very long how they show this, but I like the backstory they give to it, like what actually happens in these 4 years since Michael's been gone to the town of Haddonfield. And then another thing I really like is the opening of this film is incredibly jarring and it's incredibly intense. I really enjoyed how this film opened. It's my favorite opening of the entire trilogy. I like it more than Halloween 2018. I like it more than Halloween Kills. It is a very awesome opening, and once I saw this opening, I was like, holy hell, this movie is going to be amazing. This is going to be the best of the trilogy. Unfortunately, it doesn't do that, but it really is different. You're kind of expecting something to happen that doesn't happen, but something way more interesting happens, and you're very much interested. I don't really know how to explain it other than that this opening to the film is so creative and so different than any opening to a Halloween film, and it has me piqued. It piqued my interest. I was very much involved, and it felt, again, because of the stylistic approach, it felt something fresh, something new that I hadn't seen before, and I almost forgot I was watching a Halloween film for a second until the title card came up, and that to me is fun. That's fun. The only other positive right now that I can really say without spoiling anything specifically that I like about this film is they do have some fun with the characters and with kills in this movie. I think some of the kills in this film are really well done. I love the effects in this movie. There is some moments where they do cut away, but I like that this movie is a slasher film in the background. It's really something different. It uses kind of a different approach to horror. It uses almost in a way like an homage to Stephen King, which is really fascinating and really cool. Again, stylistic approach. It's very different. Feels like David Gordon Green and Danny McBride had nothing to do with the creative development of this movie. And I applaud them for doing that. It is very cool and very different that they would do something like that. I also think that this movie, and this is a positive, I also think that this movie is going to be better with multiple viewings. I feel like it has that lasting power. Just watching it, it definitely feels like a movie that can grow on me in the future. And that's a positive to me because at Halloween Kills specifically, I have started to see how and why people have hated that movie since it came out. I still really enjoy the film, but those little tiny things have kind of crept up, and it's made me really kind of change my whole attitude, my whole viewpoint. Whereas this film, I feel like I can get something out of it with every single visit and every single watch. And the character Corey, I like this actor. I like what they do with him in certain regards. But again, it just kind of falls flat on its face in the third act. There's so many things I want to talk about, and I've I've been really trying to find a good line of what not to talk about and what not to discuss, and what to discuss and what not to discuss. And because of that, I haven't really been able to share my full feelings on this film. There's things I want to talk about when it comes to Michael, how much or how little he's in this film, what they do to change the lore of Michael and why I don't appreciate it, things I don't like about the ending of this film. Overall, my experience is that I enjoyed what we got from this trilogy, but at the end of the day, it feels like another timeline that is going to be lost eventually. They're going to recanonize, and this is just going to be another weird and wonky entry into the already crazy, wild Halloween franchise that we've had. And Halloween Ends is not the conclusion that we necessarily wanted. It's not the conclusion that I necessarily envisioned, but it's come and it's passed, and we have to take it for what it is. And whether or not you like that, that's really up to you. I mean, there's going to be people who love this movie, and there are going to be people who hate this film. And I don't know which side of the fence I lean towards at this moment. And I'm excited to watch it again, and I think I'm going to watch it tomorrow on Peacock, but it's just very weird. I'm going to save the rest of my thoughts for the spoiler review, so make sure you stay tuned for that, because I will be dissecting every single little thing about this movie that I like and every little thing I don't like. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. I'm also going to be putting out a Halloween franchise ranking. I forgot that when Halloween 2018 came out and they announced that they were doing a trilogy with Kills and Ends, I said, after Halloween Ends, I am going to rank the entire Halloween franchise. So I will be doing that within the next week as well. So a lot of Halloween content coming, a lot of Halloween Ends content coming, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm sorry that this review, number one, I'm tired. But I wanted to make this review. I wanted to give my pure thoughts. I had just seen the film a few hours ago. I wanted to let it settle with me. And here we are. And I can't wait to dissect this movie in my spoiler review. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. The Boogeyman lives.